Welcome! Hi! In this video, I'm going to be talking about the UX design process. But first, what does UX mean? UX, or user experience, is the experience or the interaction that the user has with a company's product or service. So it's basically a person's emotions and attitudes towards the company's specific product or service or system. And it usually includes effective, practical, meaningful and valid aspects of human-computer interaction and product ownership. Okay, so moving on, UX designers have a lot on their plate. So from research to analysis to personas to wireframes and the surveys and usability tests and research again and wireframes again and designing and redesigning and redesigning, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And for someone who's new to this might seem very overwhelming and it might seem very hard. But this is why in this video I'm going to be talking about the several stages of UX design process simplified. And remember, if we learn how to divide the tasks of UX design and work on each stage properly, UX design won't seem that hard. So, the UX design process simplified. So the first stage of UX design process is understand. Understand what? So before you go ahead and start researching and sketching for your product, or you start taking looking at different projects and taking inspiration, you should understand two things. Number one, you should understand the user. You should be on the same wavelength as the user. And the question here is, what are the problems that the user is facing? And once you identify these problems, you can be on your way to finding solutions to these problems. So keep in mind that what the user wants and doesn't want is the main thing here. And number two is understanding your brand. So what does this project that you're working on, how is it aligning with the brand's mission and the brand's goals? So this is stage number one of the UX design process, basically understanding the user and stage number two is research. Already as designers, we have a lot of assumptions of what the user wants and doesn't want. But we should always learn to dig deeper and challenge these assumptions. So one-on-one interviews, surveys, usability tests, what else, focus groups are some of the many methods that you can use in order to challenge your assumptions and be able to have some tangible, actual evidence for your assumptions. And remember, you don't have to survey a million people in order to get good data. In fact, getting 3 to 5 people, surveying 3 to 5 people from your target audience is more than enough to get you the enough data that you need for your project. And remember, it also saves you time. Stage 3 of the UX design process is analysis. So now that you're finally done with all your data, all your research, you can now start working on your project. Okay, so in this analysis stage, you can get all these information and lay them out in front of you through creating a user persona. So a user persona is very is very important for your project. You can always go back to that persona if you're stuck while working, and you remember what the user wants, doesn't want, what are the pain points that the user is having. Yeah. So in the fourth stage of UX design process, you are gonna design. Woohoo! Finally. So in this stage, you're gonna be creating mock-ups, site maps, user flows, but the most important thing that you're gonna be doing in this stage are wireframes. Wireframes are a low fidelity representation of your final product. But remember that 99.9999% of the time, you're not going to be using the first draft of your wireframes. So get a huge cup of coffee because it's going to be a long night.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Okay. The fifth stage of UX design process is launching the product. So after you did your research and your analysis and your wireframes and your designing and your redesigning and your redesigning, now it's time to launch your project, but always make sure to check in with your teammates or take feedback from your professor to always try and make the project even better. So finally, the sixth stage of the UX design process is analyzing. Again. So ask yourself these questions. What went wrong in this project? What went right? Did we solve the user's issues and pain points? So reflecting on your project and on your process will help you gain knowledge on how to make your future project run smoothly. So yeah, these are the 6 stages of the UX design process simplified. So again, wallah, it's quarantine. Number 1 is understanding the user and the brand. Number 2 is research. Number 3 is analysis. Number 4 is design. Number 5 is launching, and number 6 is analyzing again. So thank you for watching, and bye. The UX design process. What is UX? What does UX mean? Okay. So let's start with the first stage of UX design process, and it is to understand. So before you start researching or sketching, okay, so the first stage. So the first stage. Okay, so check in with your so the final 6th stage of the UX, so the 6th and final, so the 6th final stage of the UX design process is analyzing. Again, did all your surveys and user testing. Hello and welcome to Nahid's video. UX design.